sing this song.
I don't even know why I try anymore. Even know I don't even know why I try anymore. Even know you can't replace me. I'm awake, it's time to break free. I'm levitating. I don't even know why I try anymore. Even know I don't even know. Anymore. I don't even know
Tell me how, I got nothing to say. Tell me why my tombstone is blank. 'Cause I'm not the one who won't try. I'm not letting life pass me by. And tell me when the days are less gray. And tell me where is the road to less pain. How many days before I decay? It's getting so hard to get by. Where are all my trophies in life? And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Set to sail to a place I can't say. Live a life worthy of chase. The time is today. New blood in my veins. I won't be the joker in life, playing the part I don't like. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Yeah. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. 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 Young and hungry for life.
Oh my goodness. We got a double red skies tonight. You know what that means. It's not a good look, not a good night for AEW Dynamite. Fucking boring! Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. MJF is back. I don't know how we lasted this long, to be quite honest with you. The Ace is back. And he's going right for the gold. And AEW's got one job in 2 weeks. Less than that. MJF becomes the new AEW World Champion. Outside that, folks, snooze fest after snooze fest after snooze fest. Continental Classic. Boring. But, you know, Sports Illustrated wanted to suck the dick of AEW, which we'll go over tonight, man. They have lost all credibility, just like AEW has. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the venue inside my mother's basement on this Wednesday night. Unfortunately, last-minute decision. We're flying solo tonight. No Jesse. But I gotta know, no matter what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Dynamite post show for December 17th, 2025. I am your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Wednesday evening, wherever you may be. Unfortunately, I am flying solo tonight. No Jesse. We were talking in the sound check. He was very much ready to come on tonight, and he did not feel well. He mentioned something about his kidneys not feeling good. So I gave him the night off, and I told him to go rest, and I told him to make the appropriate arrangements and go see a doctor tomorrow. So I wish Jesse nothing but the best, and hopefully he is feeling a little bit better next week. But he did his live stream tonight. He did his watch along, and he is not here tonight. So I know you guys are going to be wondering where he is. Jesse is not on the show tonight. He's not feeling well. He is going to go rest. There's no reason to have him on Dynamite because literally nothing happened. And I am more than capable of handling the duties on this random Wednesday and flying solo. So that's that. You know, it makes me laugh that there are people, there are publications that try so hard at skewing the truth that you look at them and you can't really take them to be credible at all anymore. Sports Illustrated named AEW the promotion of the year. Now, that's a very low bar, knowing that WWE had one of the worst years creatively out of the last several years, so they didn't really have much competition if that's the case. But how could you look at AEW and deem them promotion of the year when every single week there is something that doesn't make sense, matches that just randomly happen with no rhyme or reason, storylines dropped, storylines that don't make any sense, matches that happen for the sake of just having professional wrestling matches, no excitement, declining ratings, declining attendance numbers, declining interest all over social media and in and around fucking any metric that you look at, everything is down! How anybody would deem them promotion of the year is absolutely fucking career suicide. Either that or they were paid off. Which I'm opting to choose the latter there. AEW went to Manchester, England. I hear Christmas in England this time of year in the United Kingdom is quite festive. So at least they went somewhere that does festive when it comes to Christmas. I just find it funny how, and this is what you won't hear from a Sports Illustrated and something that they clearly omitted. They can barely fill a music auditorium here in the United States, yet they go overseas and they pack 10,000 plus in Manchester, England. Oh, well, that doesn't look like a dying company to me, JD. This is the fruit of AEW's success, JD. This isn't just a t-shirt company, JD. This is the same company that is going to the United Kingdom, filling 10,000 tickets, and then turning around and filling the Hammerstein fucking ballroom with 1,100 people. They can't even fill out a fucking 1,500 seater in the United States, let alone fucking going overseas to the United Kingdom. Now, how do you look at that in any way but bad? Sure, they go overseas. Overseas, which gets AEW, what, once, twice a year maybe? And then we get AEW here in the United States, and then they got to fudge the numbers for AEW All In Texas, which was nowhere near 30,000, but more like 22,000. Yeah, all those extra comp tickets there, they're not really compensating for, right? Yeah, sure thing. Sure thing. This Dynamite was as fucking painfully boring as anything I watched all year. Crowd was great. Crowd was energetic. It actually felt like a professional wrestling show with the audience and the aspect of the audience. But my God, man, you asking me to fucking care about this Continental Classic and you give me nothing but match after match after match. And then you don't even take the proper steps to tell me a story within the tournament. Bro, we had Kyle Fletcher versus Pac. which was a fine television professional wrestling match. Pac got the win. Not really surprising, being that he's from this part of fucking the world. Gee, I wonder why he got the win over Kyle Fletcher. So Pac beats Kyle Fletcher, who is an odds-on favorite in his block, in his league, to at least be in the semifinals when we get to World's End. So what Tony Khan theoretically has done now with Kyle Fletcher losing again, because last week he lost to Speedball, this week he lost to Pac. Now we got 6 men in the block. 4 of them have 6 points. All I see is Tony Khan marking out as if he's legitimately controlling a real-life E-Fed, and he's trying to book this thing in the most epic way possible. Look at this, Dad! I got a 4-way tie in the Blue League! Bro, I don't give a shit if it's a 4-way tie, an 8-way tie, a fucking whatever tie. There is legitimately zero story coming out of this fucking tournament. And all this tournament is nothing more than random fucking matches. But we get that every fucking week, regardless of a tournament or not. How exactly do you want me to care about this tournament? Jon Moxley versus Roderick Strong. Kyle Fletcher versus Pac. And then whatever else took place on Collision, which I opted not to watch because who the fuck watches Collision? As soon as the Battle Royal ended, which was a waste of my fucking time, I decided to go live. There was an 8-woman tag team match tonight. We had Marina Shafir, Megan Bayne, for whatever reason, are still a tag team. Mercedes Moné and Athena against the timeless love bombs of Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. And then the newly crowned 1 week, because they won the titles last week, the newly crowned AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, the Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale. Now, for those that didn't watch the show, good on you. You made the right decision. Those that did watch the show, you want me to take the Women's Tag Team Champions? You want me to take the Women's Tag Team Championships? Seriously. Chat, do you know why I am so vehemently against new champions and women's tag team champions and fucking all these mid-card fucking nothing titles that absolutely are fucking worthless? Creative had the Babes of Wrath go into their first match after winning the tag team championships last night. And they lost. They lost. Wow, man, nothing says setting the foundation for a great reign than within 1 week losing your first match. And did you see how they lost the match? What the fuck was that? Athena hits the O-face, which is her finishing move off the top rope. Willow bounces off the mat, sells it really, really well. Athena pins Willow, 1, 2, 3, and Willow gets up and starts yelling and pointing at Athena and Mercedes as if she just got rolled up in a small package. So not only did Willow and Harley lose their first match, she completely annihilated the usage of Athena's O-face and pretended as if the move never fucking happened. Yet AEW wants me to take the tag team championships seriously. Sure thing. Dynamite Diamond Battle... the Dynamite Jobber Battle Royal. One positive. Thank Christ MJF has nothing to do with this anymore. Absolutely a waste of everyone's fucking time. Yes, exactly what we signed up for. I can't wait to see Mark Davis and fucking Anthony Bowens challenging for a fucking piece of jewelry. Bro, every year, this is nothing more than a collection of fucking guys who are nothing more than lost souls on the AEW roster. And then what Tony Khan does is he peddles a narrative through this meaningless, absolutely a waste of time battle royal. Because at the end of this battle royal, where we got the likes of Josh Alexander and fucking every other jobber in the company that doesn't mean a fucking thing to anybody. At the end of this battle royal, we get Ricochet and Bandito. So the battle royal ends. First of all, you got to go and maybe restructure the battle royal. Battle royals that end in a way where there's not one guy left standing is always a crowd killer. When the crowd visibly sees two guys in the ring and the bell rings, ding, 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 the first instinct for the crowd is, well, the match is not over. There's two guys left. Bro, there was an audible dead silence. And I'm not talking about fucking just, just a quiet. No, it was dead fucking silent. Dead silence when Ricochet and Bandito were the two left in the Battle Royal. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on. Bandito and Ricochet now wrestle next week when they go to New York City at the Hammerstein Ballroom and they wrestle over a piece of jewelry that you'd find in the Zales showcase at the fucking Roosevelt Field Mall. Tony's pushing a narrative because the ring is very much a heel thing, being that it's been on MJF for 5 fucking years, 6 years now. MJF won more matches with that ring than I really care to admit. It's come in handy quite a few times for the former AEW World Champion. Who do you think is going to win the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal and win the ring? It's going to be a heel. It's going to be Ricochet. So then at that point, they put the national, the international championship on Ricochet, and then they put a piece of jewelry to signify Ricochet as some sort of MVP in AEW. Bro, all I look at when I look at the Dynamite Diamond Ring is not the fact that it was associated with MJF. MJF could give a fucking... He couldn't give a shit. Not a single solitary fuck about the diamond ring. They're going to put it on Ricochet to pretend like he's something more. He's a national champion. He hasn't done anything with the championship since he's won it at Full Gear. And now they're going to put a Dynamite Diamond Ring on him to pretend he's even bigger than he really is. What's with the narrative of trying to make Ricochet by putting these useless fucking pieces of hardware on his shoulder, on his finger? Bro, you can put the fucking AEW World Championship on Ricochet for all I give a fuck. It's not gonna matter. He's a fucking loser. He does nothing for the show. He does not make any part of the show better. He's absolutely fucking cringy to watch. Nothing he does is important. Nothing he says is substantial. And nothing he does benefits the show in any numerical value whatsoever. In fact, the ratings go down every time Ricochet is on the show. The ratings in the demo go down every time Ricochet opens his fucking mouth. Tell me when I am telling lies. You can't. Ha-ha! MJF. The last time we saw MJF was All Out, where he wrestled an indie outlaw mud show fucking piece of shit thumbtacks and tables match, which is so beneath him, it's not even fucking funny. You got a legit ace, a legit fucking movie star, a fucking top guy working fucking GCW style garbage on nationally televised pay-per-view. The last time we saw MJF, he lost to Mark Briscoe. At All Out. That was back in September. The beginning of September. So we had to go through all of September, October, November, and the half of December. 3.5 months we have been without MJF. 3.5 months we've been without the top guy in this company. 3.5 months we've been without the only legitimate star in this entire company. And yes, that is factual information. Swerve is not a star. Ospreay's not a star. Hangman's not a star. The Young Bucks aren't stars. These guys are not stars. These guys are not guys that are going to be placed at the top of the card and are going to be able to sustain holding a company on their shoulders. Hangman failed as a world champion. Swerve failed as a world champion. The Young Bucks have failed in general. Ospreay, when he becomes world champion, he will fail as world champion. And I'm not taking anything away from Swerve or Hangman or Ospreay as far as what they do in the ring. I'm talking about attraction. I'm talking about story. I'm talking about heat. I'm talking about let me watch the fucking show to see what he does next. Let me watch the show to see what he says next. None of those guys possess those two last qualities that I just mentioned. Do you know who does? MJF. And before anybody starts saying, oh, JD's glazing MJF just like he's glazing Gunther for whatever fucking reason, bro, you don't understand how valuable someone like MJF is in the role that he plays on AEW television. You don't understand the value of someone like MJF in the role that he plays in pro wrestling, period. I said this on Saturday. I said it on Monday. I said it last night with Jason on TNT. This industry is severely depleted of top-level legitimate heels. Badass, believable heels. Every time a heel opens his mouth and says something, it sounds good, and then the results are opposite of what they said. Gunther said he would tap out John Cena. Gunther went to Saturday Night's Main Event and tapped out John Cena. Gunther lived up to the very words that he mentioned for the last 2 weeks and got the job done. That is what a good heel does until a conquering babyface comes along and takes all that and shoves it up his asshole. When MJF speaks, you believe what he says. When MJF speaks, you stop what you're doing. You put your phone down and stop doom scrolling on fucking TikTok and you listen to what the man has to say. When the man opens his mouth, there is story. When the man opens his mouth, the man has done more in the 15 minutes that he had television time tonight than AEW Creative has done in the last 3.5 fucking months to tell a proper story for their biggest title. All it took was for MJF to get back and take a microphone and speak to us for 15 minutes, and he made sense, and he made everything about the World Championship title picture that much more exciting. Something that Swerve, Samoa Joe, and Hangman Page could not have done on their own. So when you want to discredit MJF and the fact that he's not as good as he says he is, or as good as us saying he is, or he's a bad wrestler, and he's boring, and he's formulaic, and it's the same shtick, and it's all this other nonsense. You don't get it. For 3.5 months, this company has been fucking drowning. Unable to tell stories. Week-to-week television that has been fucking boring. And the guy comes back in 15 minutes and injects life into this fucking dead company. He was the most exciting thing on the show. There was no other direction for AEW and MJF to go. None. I actually quite like it. Instead of using the fucking contract in a one-on-one situation, waiting for someone to win the championship at World's End, because Tony Khan fucked the gimmick and fucked the contract because he didn't want it to be like Money in the Bank. He didn't want it to be what WWE does, but he ruined the whole fucking idea of the concept, and the concept is now dead. So instead of MJF coming back and being a chicken shit heel and waiting for someone to win and then fucking cashing it in and getting a one-on-one match and cheating to win, they actually went about it in a way that I'm proud. A way that they actually are going to make MJF look good. Because they took what he said at the end of that match with Mark Briscoe and says he's been down on his luck lately. Nothing's been going his way. And he's going to come back more dangerous than he ever has before. I don't know what that means, but this is a damn good start. He showed up tonight looking great, sounding great, looking refreshed, looking like he's ready to be back. The show desperately needed him. He injects a sense of life into the company that legitimately nobody else does. He cashed in his contract after the World Championship match was going to be made official. It was going to be originally Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, and Adam Page in a triple threat match for the AEW World Championship. This would take place at World's End. MJF came back, cut a vicious promo on all three, made everybody look bad, good. Wrote his name down on the contract. Abided by the stupid fucking rule that Tony Khan now brought upon his contract that he's got to give Tony Khan a week's notice. He gave him a week and some days, week and a half. Signed his name to the contract. He's now making it a fatal four-way match. MJF is now a part of the World Championship match at World's End, where 2 years ago he lost the Triple B to Adam Cole. Or because of Adam Cole, to Samoa Joe because of Adam Cole. And the devil was revealed. He lost the World Championship 2 years ago at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. How poetic it would be for MJF to win the World Championship back 2 years since then in Chicago and be crowned an AEW World Champion for a second time. This company right now is operating with Swerve as the top heel and Hangman as the top heel. Will Ospreay, who knows when he's going to be back? That would complete the nucleus of top heel or top babyface rather. Swerve is a top babyface, Hangman is a top babyface, and Ospreay when he gets back would be a top babyface. So the nucleus of top babyfaces would be those three, and that's a damn good trio. Do you know what works best against all three babyfaces? A damn good fucking heel. And that's exactly what you're going to get in MJF. I don't know what they got planned. I don't know where they go. I don't know what they're thinking about. All I know is that they need to do one thing, and it's a very, very, very simple thing. A thing that does not need to be overthought or overcomplicated. MJF walks into Chicago on December 27th. MJF pins whomever they decide he pins, and MJF walks out the new AEW World Champion. All I hear about is they want to restore the feeling. We got to get back to doing things the old way. Well, you'd have to tell some solid story to at least try and get back to the old AEW, because they haven't told a single solitary fucking story that is worth a fucking shit this year. MJF becomes the world champion, and you have him take all that into Wembley with the hopes that Ospreay gets back, and Will Ospreay and MJF main event All In. And that is your All-In main event for 2026. I'm not looking at a Swerve title run. I'm not looking at a Hangman title run. They don't need the championship for one reason and one reason only. It's because when they are champion, the company seemingly is uninteresting. The only way this company is going to garner any interest is if you put the belt on MJF. I guarantee you, and I don't really know how much it would increase, but whatever they are at now, they'll be up in the demo, they'll be up in the rating, and they'll be up minute by minute when that man is on TV. Not only that, he will bring story, he will bring heat, he will bring what you need as a top villain in the company to make your show must-see. He will bring as a villain must-see to the match that he wrestles against whomever the babyface is, because he's that good at what he does. There are many more pros and positives to MJF being the world champion than legitimately anyone else at this time. You go with Samoa Joe, it's boring. You go with Swerve, it's boring. You go with Hangman, we've been there, done that 2 times now, and he's failed. It is now time to crown your uncrowned world champion in MJF. If the company knows exactly where they want to be in 2026, that doesn't happen unless you crown MJF the new world champion in 2 weeks. We're going to get into this show. There's really not much to talk about. I could really end the stream right there. We're going to talk about this laughable Sports Illustrated top 25 or top 2025 for this year. And we're going to go over what happened in some of these matches here tonight. I want to thank you very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. It is your Wednesday, December 17th, 2025. Last night was a monumental TNT, man. The best discussion that we've had since Jason has joined the show. I think this was probably the best show since the Dwayne Johnson and Pat McAfee debacle, where he went on the Pat McAfee show after WrestleMania and lied and lied and lied about everything. Last night's show was a great discussion. Last night's show was 2 friends explaining their case. And last night's show was one of the best TNTs that we've done all year. So I appreciate you guys very much for showing up. We had 3,300 people last night. You guys blew away with the support via the super chats and via the likes. You guys killed it. 50+ minute watch time per viewer. You guys killed it. A great show. So go check that out. We were live on Monday. I foresee the content for the remaining 2 weeks of the month kind of slowing down. There really isn't much to talk about. There really isn't much going on. Everybody's going to be talking about their top matches and top shows this year. Bro, I want to erase this year so fucking quick and get into 2026. I want to forget this year even fucking happened. Legitimately, there was more negative than there was positive this year. And this year was a terrible, terrible year for pro wrestling. Pro wrestling was in a terrible place all through 2025. We're live tonight. We'll be live on Friday for SmackDown. And then we'll play it by Monday, obviously, for Raw. All these shows are going to be taped. WWE's live event schedule is finished after Friday. Everybody's off for the rest of the year, which is great. But it does get kind of boring. So make sure you guys pay attention to the socials and pay attention to the streams. We'll be updating you as the weeks and days go on. But go check out that content. It's all on the channel. Some great stuff there if you want to catch up. Also, everything I upload here immediately gets uploaded to Spotify and iTunes the next day. So make sure you guys go and do that. If you guys can't have time to watch or get time to watch on YouTube, everything is on Spotify and iTunes as well. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Helps us out in the algorithm. Get those super chats in. Helps us out via the super chats. The best way to support. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 750 likes tonight on the AEW Dynamite post show. And tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew Gold. 10% off. Blue Chew Gold. We're going to use that code JD at BlueChew.com. I want to thank them for, once again, being a great friend and a great sponsor. Right here on Off the Script. JD, have you seen Samantha Irvin's what? All Elite? Samantha Irvin is All Elite. She's going to be the demands manager. Yes, because that's going to bring eyeballs to AEW. Legitimately, nobody gives a fuck. She is such old news, it doesn't even matter anymore. The one position where she was a highlighted talent, she didn't want to do anymore. But she wants to go join her husband in AEW and be a C-ranked fucking manager. Fantastic. AEW Dynamite. This was their holiday bash edition of Dynamite. Nothing really festive, nothing really to celebrate here on Dynamite, but it was their holiday bash. They opened the show in the most boring way possible. Legitimately no excitement. I mean, if you're a viewer, the only thing I got from the way that this show opened is that it was clearly taped. You can tell a tape show from a live show. Just the way that they kind of produce things after. It just feels so taped. They start the show as soon as 8 o'clock happens. We get no fucking opening theme. We get no Excalibur. You know what day it is. Yes, I do. And unfortunately, I wish it was Thursday already. As soon as 8 o'clock hits the clock, like the bell is ringing, ding, 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 and Jon Moxley and Roderick Strong are already in the ring locking up. So we come out of the Big Bang Theory. We get the opening credits, gone. Theme music, gone. As soon as the ending credits for Big Bang Theory come to an end, right into Jon Moxley and Roderick Strong, as if it's some big deal. Can you at least give me a setup? Can you at least give me a rundown of what's happening? Can you at least give me a ring introduction and a ring entrance? I don't know, make it feel like it's something more. Just threw it out there. Very, 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 very cold open. This match went 18 minutes. Bro, we opened the show. I could physically hear the remote controls being picked up all across the United States. Bro, we went 18 minutes to open Dynamite on a show that they labeled Holiday Bash. 18 minutes in a 20-minute Continental Classic round-robin match. 18 minutes with Jon Moxley and Roderick Strong. Chad, I love talking about where this goes, what happens in the aftermath of this. Where does this take Roderick Strong? Where does this take Jon Moxley? What happens next week? Chat, can you give me one singular reason why anybody watching this particular match would give a shit when this match is over? Can you give me a reason? Anything to look forward to when this match is over? The only thing that I'm looking forward to is when the bell rings and this match is off my television. Genuinely. They go into a commercial break. And I mean this in the most respectful way possible. Roderick Strong is a great pro wrestler. But why he's in this tournament and why would anybody believe he stands a chance in this tournament over a 5-week stretch, 6-week stretch? Why would anybody be so stupid to think that? Moxley had Strong down on the mat. Strong made a comeback. Leapt at Moxley at ringside with a flying forearm. He threw him back into the ring and landed a running clothesline and a leaping leg lariat. Strong tried a slam on Moxley on the ringside steps. Moxley blocked it, set up a pile driver on the steps. Roddy resisted and then drove Moxley back first onto the steps by slamming him down on the steel steps. They go back in the ring. The ring announcer says there's 5 minutes remaining. Moxley hits a cutter, scores a quick near fall, 2 count. He followed with a leaping pile driver for another near fall, 2 count. Moxley applies a sleeper on Roddy. Fans were chanting, Roddy Strong. Because, you know, that's what the United Kingdom fans do. I thought they were actually chanting, Cody Rhodes. Strong rolled to the bottom rope to force a break. Strong applied a Boston Crab. Moxley twisted. He up-kicked out of the Boston Crab. He landed a quick Death Rider. And 18 minutes later, Jon Moxley wins, and he earns 3 more points in the Continental Classic. AEW just doesn't get it. You have buried and made a joke of Roderick Strong ever since he stepped foot in AEW. Like, the only part of Roddy's run that I remember is when he was with Adam Cole and they tried to get the band back together, and Adam Cole was trying to convince him that MJF was a snake, and Roderick Strong, all he went and did was, Adam! That's all I remember about Roderick Strong's run in AEW. And if somebody wants to prove me that I'm wrong or correct me in that, I'd love to hear what you think of Roderick Strong's run in AEW. Pretty sure that you got nothing. 3 years. This guy's a former North American champion in NXT. This guy's a former fucking henchman of Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era. One of the greatest groups ever assembled in WWE history. To join AEW, to be nothing more than a fucking lackey to the conglomeration, a lackey to the Undisputed Kingdom, and then go around yelling everybody's and screaming everybody's first name. You want me to take this guy seriously because he went 18 minutes. with Jon Moxley, who Excalibur and Tony Schiavone said was the only former AEW World Champion in this entire tournament. Do you think magically that's going to look good for Roderick Strong? Do you think that's going to enhance Roderick Strong to the audience? Do you think that's going to take his character and people are going to look differently at it? This is what they think. That's not what I think. That's not what you guys think. That's not what the majority of the audience think, because nobody's fucking watching. The people that care are going to continue to watch. The people that have been fucking smartened up to see that none of this is fucking worthwhile and none of this is worth their time and everything is just a fucking joke, they're long gone. And I can't even tell you if they've jumped ship to go watch the other show, because nobody's watching the other show either. Not everything needs to go 18 minutes. You trying to make Roderick Strong look like something, you trying to make him look something more than he really is fucking laughable. I'm not saying end the match in 3 minutes. I'm not asking for a WWE speed length to the match, but 18 fucking minutes. And then you do nothing to tell a story at the end of it. Nothing. All I got out of it was Moxley wins, Roddy is eliminated from the tournament, and that's it. Stop trying to make everything feel so much more than it is. Sometimes less is more. Jon Moxley did not need to go 18 minutes with Roderick Strong. 8-9 minutes would have been enough. You overstaying your welcome here by pushing this to 18 minutes, 2 minutes before this became a draw, is fucking ridiculous. Nobody gives a fuck about Moxley, and nobody gives a shit about Roderick Strong. Just stop. I promise you, this will do nothing to Roddy. Oh, but he's enhanced because he lasted 18 minutes with the world champion. He lost! He's a loser! All I look at in the line sheet is an L. He took a big fat L to a former AEW world champion. Goodbye. Right back to the conglomeration he goes. Standing next to Hologram and the fucking rest of the losers in there. Eddie Kingston cut a promo backstage. He said he has nothing to go for in this life other than AEW. He has nothing in his life other than AEW. Sounds like a depressed man. Sounds like somebody that needs to go find a therapist. Maybe BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com/script. He says he never stops or quits because of that, and everyone he faces after losing to Joe will find that out. He says he doesn't let one loss bother him. With that loss, I learn and I move forward. He issued an open challenge for Collision. Fans cheered and chanted, Eddie, Eddie, Eddie. Nothing speaks to me like Eddie Kingston and an open challenge. What that says to me is we don't know what the fuck to do with this sack of shit, Eddie Kingston. I love Eddie. I think Eddie's great. An open challenge? For what? Let me guess. They're going to bring in some random Japanese guy so that he gets his fucking rocks off so that he could throw his fucking spinning back fists for 15 minutes. Kazuchika Okada, Hechicero, and Konosuke Takeshita with Don Callis versus the Young Bucks. Matt and Nick Jackson and Kenny Omega, better known to you as the Elite. This went 23 minutes. 23 minutes. Bro, they're out there having exhibitions for fake money. They are putting more effort into these money matches than they are their actual TBS championship or TNT championship or the international championship or whatever championship they have that they want to pretend is important. Bro, the money matches are more valuable and more prestigious to AEW than the titles are. The Young Bucks at the pay-per-view with Josh Alexander won the $1 million. They won the money at Full Gear. They beat Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express. At the end of the match, Don Callis tried to take them away as the Don Callis family led a gang attack on Kenny Omega. The Young Bucks decided to abandon the money, leave Don Callis, and go and attack the Don Callis family and save their friend, Kenny Omega. But they won the money. Last week, they came into the possession of the money. They got their money back. So what do, chat? Instead of taking the money and putting it in a fucking stock or putting it in a bank account or going to give it to family members and making sure family is right or going to buy each other a nice vehicle or several pairs of sneakers or whatever the Young Bucks would do with $1 million. Instead of doing anything fun with the money, they got their money back that they had taken from them by Don Callis, which they rightfully won, which was theirs to begin with. They take the money, they get possession of the money, and this week they put the money on the line against the Don Callis family. Money that they already won. Money that didn't need to be defended because they got possession of the money back. So someone please tell me why the money in this case being on the line made any sense whatsoever. There's not a single solitary excuse that you could spew to me about why this money being on the line made this match make any more sense than it originally did without the money. Why was the money on the line? All the Young Bucks had to do was take the money and go deposit it in fucking a bank. Or give it to family. Stuff it underneath the fucking mattress somewhere. Why would you put the money on the line, $1 million on the line in a match that you didn't need to? I want to show that my friendship with Kenny Omega is really as valuable as this bag of money. When are we going to stop with the money matches? Is this it? You know, instead of being Monopoly Man, you're not playing a fucking board game here, bro. You're booking an actual professional wrestling program. Nobody wants to see money matches. The only reason why they do money matches is to put stakes on the line in these meaningless matches that don't have any reason for taking place, period. People will find this match to be super interesting and more interesting than normal if we put something on the line. How about we put fictional money on the line? Bro, I would rather these 6 guys sit down for a game of Monopoly. I would pay to see them play Monopoly for 23 minutes instead of giving me the same boring, pedantic, formulaic, fucking sterile matches that we see every single fucking week from this so-called promotion of the year that is losing 60 to 65% of their audience year over year over year. Someone tell me when I am telling lies. I would rather see them play Monopoly, all 6 of them, than give me the same fucking match that we've been getting for the last 3 fucking months. Oh, you landed on Park Place. You owe me $700. Does anybody care about the Elite getting back together? Does anybody genuinely care about the Elites? Buddy friendship, the relationship, the friendship between Matt, Nick Jackson, and Kenny Omega. Does anybody care about that in 2025? Are we really running with that again? Like, where does that go? Bro, they have exhausted every variation of this storyline. They're friends and then they're not friends. They're friends and then they break up. They're friends and they join this other faction to battle their ex-friends in another faction. Then they do Anarchy in the Arena. Then they do Blood and Guts. And then they do fucking Canadian Stampede or whatever the fuck they want to do. How many variations of this same storyline have we seen over 5 fucking years? These guys are trying so desperately to make being the Elite cool again in 2025. Brother, this isn't being the Elite, rebel faction, rebel fucking YouTube channel that's going up against Vince McMahon and the mighty WWE. It was easy to root for you then. It was easy to find interest in what you were doing and what you were selling then. Now, you're like the fucking peddlers on the side of the fucking street in Chinatown selling me a fake fucking Rolex, pretending like it's something more valuable than it really is. Oh, but it looks like a Sea Dweller. It looks like a Rolex Daytona. It's only $400. Stop. I don't want to be taken to a back room where I see the fucking wall of fake fucking Submariners. I don't give a shit. Stop trying to sell me something that there's no interest in. It's not bringing in any new viewers. The fucking casuals that watch this show don't know what the fuck is going on. All they see are a bunch of fucking gymnasts jumping around with $1 million on the line, and there's no fucking story attached to it. The only thing that mattered here was Okada and Takeshita. That was it. And even with that, AEW is doing as little as possible for whatever fucking reason. Whether they are completely incapable or they don't know and they don't know how to write anything interesting. The fucking absolute brain dead, brain rot fucking imbeciles that run this company and watch this show on a weekly basis, they will be quick to tell you, oh, but this is a story, JD. Bro, your definition of a story is a lot different than my definition of a story. You see, my definition of a story is that there are layers. Something happens one week, and then we get something new that happens the next week, and we take that layer and top it on to the layer that happened last week, and we are actually forwarding something. There's new dialogue that's created. There's new tensions that arise. There is blood that's boiling over. Bro, Okada and Takeshita have been doing the same thing for the last 4 weeks now. Oh, I don't like you. You don't like me. Let me shove you. Let me shove you back. Let me say bitch to your face. Bro, they haven't done anything new to forward this storyline whatsoever. Yet, fucking absolute brain-dead idiots are eating this slop, pretending like it's some monumental fucking, this is the best thing on AEW television. Where? And why? It certainly started off that way. Because the idea of an Okada Takeshita match is fucking great. But when you do nothing to fucking advance the story and keep it interesting on a week-to-week basis, when you give me nothing new in regards to building layers to the actual storytelling, and then when you want to convolute the fucking tournament that they're both in with unified title, nope, that's not on the line. The international title, nope, that's not on the line. The Continental Championship's on the line. That same Continental Championship that was unified with the International Championship, which gave way to the Unified Championship. So not only are you not telling any story, not only are you not layering the story and advancing it week to week, you have now convoluted their story with what should have been one title and one tournament with 3 titles. I don't know which champion Okada or Takeshita is going to end up going for. Should have been the unified title, but instead it's going to be the Continental Championship. But that title was fucking unified with the Unified Championship. So if Okada loses the Continental Championship if he loses the Continental Championship to Takeshita, the whole premise of Okada dropping the tournament and the title is to make Takeshita. But if he loses the tournament and drops the title to Takeshita, he's still 2 champions. Or 1 champion. He's still the international champion. The Continental Champion and the International Champion are both the same fucking championships. So if we are looking at this head on, and this is where they're going, Okada and Takeshita wrestle in the finals of this tournament at World's End. Takeshita wins. He wins the tournament. He wins the Continental Championship. But Okada is the international champion even if he loses. So even if Okada loses to Takeshita, it's almost like he didn't lose at all because he's still standing there with the fucking championship that is of the equal value of the fucking championship he would be losing to Takeshita. Oh, yeah, we're doing this to make Takeshita into the next big star. He's going to beat the best tournament wrestler of all time. Yeah, that same tournament wrestler, that same best tournament wrestler ever, who's the Continental Champion, he'd be giving up 1 championship only to fucking take the other one off the shelf and parade around with that one. I'm still a champion. You got a championship, I got a championship. They're both the same fucking thing. We're both equal. So you beat me, but we're still equal. What's the point? What's the point? Oh, it's going to be a great match, JD. Oh, Dave Meltzer is going to give it 7 stars, JD. This show sucks. This show sucks. 23 minutes. Another one of these PWG party matches where there's no fucking tags and you don't know who the legal guy is 8 minutes in. I don't fucking know. Every match is the same. It's the same fucking thing. There's 6 guys in the ring. I don't know who the legal guy is, and Rick Knox is standing there. I don't know. I don't know, man. Do your job. This is promotion of the year, though, chat. Promotion of the year says Sports Illustrated. So what happened with Takeshita and Okada? Omega and Okada were in there. You know, trying to make their thing at that All In a big deal. You know, these guys wrestle for the unified title. Yeah, the unified title that doesn't exist anymore, and you basically fucking wasted everybody's time because you de-unified them for the fucking Continental Championship. That's great. Okada and Takeshita had a near miss colliding into each other as things broke down after Omega and Okada were in there. They shoved each other. Hechicero tried to break it up and play peacemaker. Takeshita blocked a Matt Jackson kick, shoved it into Okada's face inadvertently. Omega tagged in, gave Snapdragon suplexes to all of the Don Callis family. The Bucks and Omega played to the crowd, triple super kicked Hechicero. Omega then delivered a V-trigger to Hechicero, followed by an assisted one-winged angel by the Bucks for the win. So, of course, Hechicero had to take the pinfall loss here because it wasn't going to be Okada and it wasn't going to be Takeshita. The Elite celebrated. The Don Callis family jumped them after the match. Okada gave Omega a Rainmaker. Okada and Takeshita had a tense stare down and then turned to attack the Bucks together. So they did move for move. Okada gave both Bucks a Rainmaker, and then Okada turned it over to Takeshita, in which he did two Falcon Arrows to the Young Bucks. So they started shoving each other again because I guess they were trying to outdo each other here. Callis was about to enter the ring to try and separate them, but Omega entered the ring with a broom, and he chased everybody away with a broom because he's the cleaner. He's the cleaner, you see. Yeah, that's exactly what they do. The symbolism for the broom, they sweep the bad ratings underneath the rug. They don't want to talk about them. The ref presented Omega with a duffel bag full of cash, and that was the way the match ended. Money matches are more prestigious than the TNT title. Just saying. Then we get to the only part of the show that actually mattered here. Contract signing for the World Championship at World's End. Hangman's out first. Swerve and Prince Nana made their entrance. Swerve is going for something really overly epic for his entrance, and it just doesn't hit. Song takes way too long to really get into, like, pro wrestling territory. Like, I don't know what he was thinking with that theme music. It takes way too long for the beat to drop. Like, I'm not feeling it over the old theme. I'm just not. And then Samoa Joe, he was out there with Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook. Shivani introduced the segment and said, they've all seen the contract. And then he goes on to shill, we got a world championship match with three of the best performers in the entire company. Three of the most talented performers in the entire company. Tony, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Samoa Joe took the microphone and said, Tony, sometimes I wish you'd shut your big yapper. Get him out. He yelled that he will see both of his challenges at World's End and walk out as champion. He says he hopes they both make it there in one piece. Wow. It's quite the riveting fucking sell there by Samoa Joe, man. I mean, if you could tell that they have absolutely no direction for Samoa Joe as world champion, all you got to do is listen to the promos that this obvious promo man, who is one of the best promos in the business, you can tell the lack of promo that he's getting. You can tell the lack of direction that goes along with it. Swerve says he came back to AEW to pursue the AEW World Championship. He turned to Hangman and looked at Hangman and said he'd take aim at Hangman even if he was still the world champion. He says they've caused each other hell, but they've earned mutual respect in some weird way. He says there's mutual hatred for Samoa Joe from both of them. He reminded Joe that he took his title away from him. He says he'll swerve stomp him and leave a boot imprint on him that will leave a mark on his face so bad and so ugly and permanent than that fake tattoo he had on his face in 2007. He told Hangman and Joe to bring their big guns to World's End. He asked, "Whose house?" Schiavone looked at Hangman and said, "They have two signatures." Hangman told Joe that last July they were fighting each other to end the tyranny and bullshit of the Death Riders led by Jon Moxley. He talked about his world title reign, which was awful, by the way. And that one by one, each of them would end up facing him for his title. He was planning on giving everybody that helped him a shot at the world title. He was going to give Joe a world title match. He was going to give Darby Allin a world title match. He was going to give Swerve a world title match. He told Joe he gave him that opportunity at Wrestle Dream, and Joe failed. He said instead of accepting defeat, he turned to Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Hook. Hangman said Joe is worse than the Death Riders on their worst day. False. A line like that should have never been implanted in this promo. That is factually incorrect and ridiculous to even say out loud. There's nothing worse this year than the Death Riders. Nothing. He said all Joe has is the title because he has no self-respect or dignity left. He said in the twilight years of his career, he'd hate for the legend of Joe to be remembered as the piece of shit that you are today. Fans chanted piece of shit at Samoa Joe. And Joe said anyone would know about that in this godforsaken town. Joe was more fired up about the fucking piece of shit chant than he was about defending the world championship against two other guys. Hangman said he planned on defending his title against Darby and Will Ospreay. Fans sang for Ospreay. Hangman says he knew there would come a time where he'd once again stand across the ring from Swerve. He says if Swerve beat him, he'd have accepted the defeat and handed the belt over to Swerve. He says that's not the world they live in. He said after World's End, Joe will not be champion. Hangman says he has messed up more than he knows by making an enemy of the two of them. Hangman then signed the contract. Tony Schiavone says that he has all three signatures and that they will wrestle in 10 days. And then Tony Khan loves his lights out gimmick. The lights go out. MJF's music hit. His big screen graphic shows up. Crowd goes crazy. MJF struts out to the ring. MJF walks into the ring. He's looking very different nowadays. He's got a new hairdo. He looks refreshed. He looks like he's right off the set of his latest feature film. Gets into the ring. He adds his name to the contract without saying a word. Schiavone then says MJF has just cashed in his guaranteed world title shot and is now added, making this a fatal four-way. Now, he won the guaranteed world title shot by winning the Casino Gauntlet match at All In. MJF yanked the mic from Schiavone and told him, "Get out of his ring, you tub of goo." He called Tony Schiavone a tub of goo. Fans chanted for MJF. He said he's sure why everyone is wondering why a guy like him would choose to face three men instead of one. He said since the inception of the company, he has called him, Hangman has called him a coward. He said he took time off to get himself together, film a movie, because he's the only star here. He was festering and thought maybe Hangman was right. He says the past him would have looked for shortcuts, but now he can beat all three in one fell swoop and no one will have any excuses. Poor Seabiscuit. He didn't expect that one, huh? When Joe tried to interject here, MJF yelled him to shut his mouth. Joe and MJF went face to face. MJF intimidated Joe or imitated Joe's voice and says he still hates him. He called him Sloppy Joe. I legitimately laughed out loud at the Sloppy Joe line. He called Samoa Joe Sloppy Joe. He says when he took the AEW World title from him, the fans turned on MJF. Now, I don't think that's factually correct at all. I think people felt legitimately bad for MJF. I do. I think MJF, I don't know why they said that, because when MJF went away and he came back in his Triple H garb, came out with his jean jacket, and he came out Triple H-esque to once again attack Adam Cole after all that. This was when he went away. I think he went away for like 5 months, recuperated from a bum knee and a bad shoulder, came back at Double or Nothing, I believe. People received him as a returning hero, a returning babyface. I don't think the fans turned on him at all. Why would they? I don't know why he said that. I think more fans genuinely felt bad for him on Long Island, losing the way that he did and being stabbed in the back. He said the fans get to dictate who goes down as an all-time great. He says he doesn't want that. He needs that. He said Joe made the people question his abilities. He says he's about to make Joe fall back harder than his hairline. Joe and Hook chuckled over the tone. MJF said the way Joe ended his reign, he's going to end Samoa Joe's. Swerve then says if MJF should be afraid of anyone, it should be him. He says he reminds him of a famous musician. MJF says they both call themselves moguls. They both rock chains and way too much baby oil. And you're both dog shit rappers. You remind me of P. Diddy, he says. Fans asked, whose house? MJF said fans know him as Swerve, but when he was 18 years old, they were both grinding it out on the indie scene, trying to become a star. He says he went on to be the biggest AEW star, best homegrown talent in AEW history, whereas Swerve went to WWE. Fans booed. Fans booed over the mention of WWE. It's a great company, man. It's a good company name, he says. Your run there, though. Yeah, not great. He says he totally enjoyed him twerking for top dollar, though. Again, I thought that was fantastic. I thought that was great. He said Swerve won the AEW title for a whopping 106 days. Impressive. That's really good, man. It's not 401 days like me, but I mean, who's counting? He says they now have a problem because he's in his way and biting the hand that feeds him. He says he's Swerve's stomping around like Swerve is stomping around like he owns the place. He says it's not Swerve's house. It's my house. It's the house I built, and rent is due. And the devil has come to collect. He says he's about to handle all his family business in one night. He closed with his signature phrase. His name is Maxwell Jacob Freeman. And I'm better than you. And everyone knows it. I don't need to reiterate what I said in the beginning. MJF makes this match fresh. MJF makes this match exciting. MJF brings this presence as a heel to this match that is much needed, that wasn't being covered by Samoa Joe. I have no problem with Hangman and Swerve. I think they have one of the best stories in AEW history. But MJF adds just a completely different level to not only this match, but everything that he's a part of. I'm so glad that they brought him back for this and did not bring him back for the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. That type of shit, that is beneath MJF. And I think going into 2026, we need to do less of that and treat this guy as a top fucking guy. Treat this guy as the ace of your company. He does not need to be meddling in the mid card. He doesn't need to be meddling for a fucking secondary title or a third-rate title. He doesn't need to be meddling over a fucking piece of jewelry at the fucking pawn shop. Enough. In my very, very honest opinion, this very well could be MJF's last run at the top in AEW. I think MJF knows it. I think the fans know it. And most importantly, I think Tony Khan is going to start looking at the inevitability that he will not be able to retain MJF. The company does not offer MJF anything anymore. This is it. I don't want to sound doom and gloom. I don't want to sound like he's already got one foot in the WWE door. I don't want to sit here and already start writing his WrestleMania plans. But you got to be a realist. You got to understand. This is not the type of talent. I don't want to put words in the guy's mouth. But I'm also speaking in a way in which if I was in MJF shoes, I would probably be doing and thinking the same thing. There is legitimately nothing more for this guy to do. Everything else in this company is so inconsequential. Everything else in this company is so far beneath MJF, it is not worth having it on his resume. He has done everything in this company to put this company on his shoulders, give this company the boost that it needs when he is there on television, when he goes away and comes back, gives the show the boost that he needs. Tony Khan needs. The boost that the company needs. The company is not done right by MJF. The last 2 years have largely been a waste of MJF's talent and MJF's time. The fact that he's gone on to film Happy Gilmore and other ventures in Hollywood is a great thing. It's also a great telltale sign of where he wants to be. When you see WWE talent signing with Paradigm and Liv Morgan and Drew McIntyre and Jake Cargill and fucking Blake Monroe and all these people signing with Paradigm to get one foot in the door in Hollywood. MJF doesn't have any Hollywood representation. MJF's not with any talent agency as far as I know. Nothing along those lines. MJF is a star. AEW doesn't want stars. AEW doesn't want Hollywood-made stars. AEW doesn't want sports entertainers. MJF legitimately does it all. He fits the bill in every category that you would want for a professional wrestler. The guy wrestles his ass off. The guy's a part of some of the greatest matches this company has ever had and will ever had. This guy's a part of the greatest feud the company's ever seen. This guy's the greatest world champion the company's ever seen. What more is there for him to do? If you give him a second run as the AEW World Champion, which I said in the beginning should absolutely be the creative direction that they go in, you very well may be looking at the last full-time run at the top for MJF in AEW. What is Tony Khan at that point going to present MJF to keep him and retain his services? Outside of, well, I could give you more money than I was paying you before. That's great and all. And I would never tell anybody to not make their money, not go and make their money. Bro, do what you got to do to fucking put a roof over your head and keep your fucking lifestyle the way you want. But that would also be MJF shortchanging his talents. Because we all know as soon as he steps foot into the WWE, he's the biggest heel in the company. They got their next main event, WrestleMania, talent for the next 10 years. He's going to be the top heel in the company. He's going to be one of the best pro wrestlers in the company. He's going to be a Hollywood guy, and he's going to be the next megastar that company sees when CM Punk and Cody Rhodes retire. Cody's current contract is his last. Roman Reigns is wrestling less matches than he has been in forever. CM Punk is in his late 40s. LA Knight is 40. Drew McIntyre is entering his 40s. Sheamus is almost done. Damian Priest is in his 40s. WWE has a severe problem with aging professional wrestlers. When MJF is ready to leave, MJF is going to slide into the WWE ecosystem at the most perfect time. When everybody has already got a foot and a half out the fucking door, he's automatically going to become a top guy on day one. All the amount of money that Tony Khan could fucking conjure up and put on a piece of paper to offer MJF is not going to be enough to retain someone like that and their services. I would take less money to go to WWE with the opportunity, and in his confidence, he knows he's going to make. Take less money with the opportunity to earn double the amount of money that Tony Khan would be able to give him. With new accolades and new accomplishments and new dreams and new aspirations to achieve and strive for. Why stay with the company where you've done everything, taken the company on its dying days to try and resurrect them, put this company on your shoulders to make this company feel somewhat substantial, and then they turn right around and do what Tony Khan wants because Tony Khan's a fucking money mark and Tony Khan's going to book the show the way Tony Khan wants to book the show. Why would he stay there? You're looking at MJF's last run at the top. If he wins the World Championship, this is his last world title run. And again, this is all my prediction. Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, they talked about coming off his two biggest victories. He plugged his match with Jack Perry on Saturday's Collision. Nobody cares? Okay, moving on. Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, and the Timeless Love Bombs, Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa versus Mercedes Moné and Athena and the Mega Problems. Who? Oh, Megan Bain and Marina Shafir. They call them the Mega Problems. This match went 8 minutes. 8 minutes and absolutely nothing to show for it. Coming out of the commercial break, we come into the match midway through. Cameron hit a spinning DDT, spiking Megan Bain. She made the hot tag to Tony Storm, who ran wild with Marina Shafir, planting her with a DDT as well. Tony Storm connected on Sweet Chic music. Tried for Storm Zero, was cut off by Athena. Mina flew in for an attack. Moné followed. She fell to a double clothesline with Harley Cameron. Storm delivered with a headbutt to Shafir. Willow's in there. She slugged it out with Megan Bain. Big spine buster. She got a near fall on Bain. Nightingale went for a doctor bomb, but Megan escaped into the corner. Marina made a blind tag. While Bain hit a corner hurricanrana, Harley Cameron sent Megan Bain to the outside, but Marina came in with a tiger feint head scissors in the ropes. Tony Storm flew in with a hip attack before Mina hit an assisted dive from the top rope to the outside. Athena tagged in Moné before wiping out a pile of talents with a dive. Moné wanted to dive, but ran right into a pounce by Nightingale, who followed up with a cannonball off the apron onto everyone on the outside. Back inside Nightingale, she rolled right into the ring and was met immediately by an O-face by Athena. As Moné scrambled and got the pin, 1, 2, 3. Moné and Athena celebrated with their titles as the Babes of Wrath looked stunned, and they quickly moved on to the next segment. I don't know why this match took place outside of let's show everybody in the United Kingdom exactly what our women's division is. This was more like a women's showcase of top talent than anything. 8 minutes is hardly worth anybody's time. And then you opt to give the newly crowned tag team champions of the women's division their first loss after already winning the championships last week for the first time, winning the tournament last week. On top of that, Athena hits her O-face, comes in and gets pinned by the legal woman in Mercedes, and then she gets right up as if she was never hit with the O-face. It almost acted as if she was hit with a small package. Completely no-selling Athena's finish. Chat, what's the point of all this? Is there a feud going on that I don't know of? Is there something that I could pinpoint as far as a direction? Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? Kyle Fletcher and Pac. Continental Championship, or Continental Championship. Not yet. Continental Classic Gold League match. Pac wins. He beats Kyle Fletcher, surprisingly. I didn't think they were going to give Pac the win here with Fletcher losing last week. I thought he'd rebound with a win here. But Tony loves to see four-way ties in his Gold League. Pick it up after the commercial break. Both men turned each other inside out with double clotheslines on the floor. Pac tried to hit a big home run lariat, only to run into a Michinoku driver. Fletcher charged and was launched with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex in the corner. Both guys were doubled down. Pac teased a black arrow off the top rope. Fletcher rolled to the outside. Pac adjusted and hit a massive moonsault out to the floor. We go back inside. Tiger suplex landed. Fletcher kicked out as the ring announcer gave us the 10-minute countdown. We have 10 minutes remaining in this match. Pac went up for a black arrow again, but Fletcher rolled to the other side of the ring. So that's 2 black arrow attempts now, thwarted by Kyle Fletcher. Pac avoided a second Michinoku driver, spiked Fletcher with a poison rana. Pac again tried his home run lariat, but ran into a leg lariat, followed by a Liger bomb by Fletcher. Fletcher goes for recovery, gets a 2 count. So Pac avoided Fletcher's brainbuster. He guillotined Fletcher on the top before trying a cross body, only to get caught. Pac floated over and applied a brutalizer. He rolled through, flattened Fletcher into a brutalizer proper. Fletcher faded, put his foot on the ropes to break the brutalizer. Third time here, he is now frustrated. He hits his home run lariat. He goes for recovery, gets a 2 count. He went up top for the black arrow. Fletcher exploded up off the mat, crotching Pac, hitting a haluva kick. Fletcher spiked Pac with the brainbuster. Pac kicked out. Fletcher wanted his buckled brainbuster. Pat fought out into a crazy avalanche poison rana, which landed Fletcher right on his fucking head. And then Pac goes up top and hits the most beautiful black arrow you could ever see. One of the most prettiest moves, if not the prettiest top rope move in all of wrestling. 1, 2, 3, and Pac beats Kyle Fletcher. And he's got 6 points now. And we got a 4-way tie in the Continental Classic Gold League. Good match. Probably the best match on the entire show, from what I watched, which is not surprising because Kyle Fletcher's great and Pac is fucking fantastic. The Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. We had Shelton Benjamin, Ricochet, Josh Alexander, Mark Davis, Luchasaurus, Anthony Bowens, Ace Austin, Bandito, Brody King, Max Caster, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. Wow, what a field of talent there to give the Dynamite Diamond Ring to, huh? This didn't even start off as a battle royal. Everybody was already waiting for the introductions to be finished. We come back from a commercial break and Luchasaurus is making his way down to the fucking ring. half of this match to start, half of the field in this match, I should say, were battling outside the ring. A battle royal is supposed to start with everybody in the ring, and the only way to win the match is by tossing your opponents over the top rope. Meanwhile, they treated this as if it was actually the Casino Gauntlet match. I genuinely don't know why we're still making the Dynamite Diamond Ring a thing. I don't. On top of all the meaningless fucking titles that have absolutely zero value and zero prestige, what does this Dynamite Diamond Ring do for anybody? What? What did it do for MJF? It didn't enhance the MJF character. He used it to cheat, to win matches. That's exactly what the fucking, the gimmick is used for. It holds no value. It holds no prestige. They're already surrounding ringside after their entrances were made. The demand attacked Brodito on the aisle or in the aisle during their entrance. Ace Austin took out the demand with a dive. Davis and Alexander attacked Caster and Bowens. There was only 6 guys in the ring. There was 12 guys in this fucking thing. Everybody else was on the outside. So we'll pick it up after the commercial break because literally nothing happened here. So we got all the bigger guys in the match, like Mark Davis and Brody King and Luchasaurus. They're all throwing each other all over the ring. Ricochet springboarded into the clutches of Benjamin, who launched him into the grips of Luchasaurus, who then chokeslammed him. Benjamin was tossed by Alexander. Davis dumped by Luchasaurus, who was then eliminated by Josh Alexander. Brody King fought off all of the demands, giving Ricochet a running Death Valley driver into the corner on Toa Leona, his own faction member. Alexander then picked King's leg with an ankle lock. Ankle lock in a battle royal in which you have to win by not submitting your opponent, but throwing them over the top rope. Really makes sense. So King rolled through into a Bandito monkey flip, eliminating Alexander. Brody King stalked Ricochet at ringside, squashed him with a crossbody into the barricade, while Toa Leona launched King into the front row. Bandito escaped a fireman's carry by Bishop Khan, who didn't see Leona show up from behind. He was about to eliminate him when Brody King returned and took the bullet for his partner, eliminating himself and Toa Leona. Bandito battled with Bishop Khan, hit a Hurricanrana, sending Bishop Khan over the top rope to the outside. And that is when the bell rang, and Bandito and Ricochet were the final 2 in the Battle Royal. They will meet next week for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. And the winner of that match gets a World Championship match at Maximum Carnage in the middle of January. Unless Tony Khan changed that rule. Because if Ricochet wins, we could be looking at Ricochet and whomever the world champion may be. I would assume that that would have to be a babyface, right? So let's map this out. If Ricochet wins the Dynamite Diamond Ring, he becomes the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship at Maximum Carnage Dynamite. Does that mean Swerve Strickland wins the AEW World Championship at World's End? Does that mean Adam Page wins the World Championship at World's End? Or does Bandito win the Dynamite Diamond Ring? And maybe we get MJF versus Bandito for the MJF, for the AEW World Championship. I think the Dynamite Diamond Ring probably goes to a heel because it's a heel gimmick. And they're desperately trying to make Ricochet feel more important than he really is, or more important. And the fans don't find him to be important at all. No matter what you do with him, no matter what title or piece of jewelry you put on him, nobody's going to take him to be serious. He is as irrelevant as they come. And I take nothing away from him. He's a great wrestler. But ever since those first couple of months in AEW, he's done nothing. He doesn't feel special at all. He's just like everybody else. He settled into a role, and he's nothing more than a glorified enhancement talent. That's what he is. And he's in a group that say that they are in demand, and they are in demand by nobody. Nobody. Jon Moxley was backstage. He says he likes the Continental Classic. It's simple. Step into the ring, you bring whatever you have, and everything is laid out there, bare, nowhere to hide. The deeper the tournament gets, the more is revealed. Moxley pushes people's buttons. He antagonizes them, which changes people, as some react differently than others. Some become monsters like Kyle O'Reilly, while Roderick Strong is better than he's ever been, leaving Moxley 30 seconds away from being an SOL in this tournament. Whatever happens, Moxley wants to know he didn't leave any bullets in the chamber and left it all out there. Actually, wasn't a bad promo. I do think that he says here, the deeper the tournament gets, the more will be revealed. We may be looking at a situation where Claudio outpoints Moxley, and then maybe something happens then. You would think that after their match that they had, that something would have happened with that 2 weeks ago. But no. Nothing happened there. Because I didn't watch the rest of the show because it was Collision, and nobody watches Collision, and nobody cares about Collision. I will just briefly go over the outcomes here. Orange Cassidy and Mascara Dorada in a Blue League match. Orange Cassidy gets 6 points. He beats Mascara Dorada. Jamie Hayter versus Isla Dawn. Apparently, a haterade for the win over Isla Dawn. Post-match, Sky Blue, Julia, and Tekla, Jesse. Tekla. Everybody loves Tekla, right? Tekla, Jesse. Okay. Tekla appeared in the Triangle of Madness, beat the shit out of Hayter. Tekla whipped her with the belt. Chris Statlander came out, took out Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Sky Blue, she needed the money. Oh! They're setting up Tekla versus Chris Statlander for World's End. Jamie Hayter beat Isla Dawn. Basically it. It's basically all I got. That was your AEW Dynamite / Collision Holiday Bash 2025. Let's go and see, just out of curiosity, let's see. AEW Holiday Bash 2024 ratings. Let's see. See what the old Google machine has to say. The Holiday Bash 2024 edition took place on December 18th last year. They drew around 628,000 total viewers and an 18 to 49 demo, 0.19. Yeah, they are trending around the 500 or so thousand. They will not be anywhere near 628,000. The demo is trending around a 0.09. They are going to be nowhere near a 0.19. Let's see what 2023 gave us as far as the demo and the rating. The Holiday Bash 2023 edition of Dynamite, December 20th, they did 600,000, 18 to 49 demo in the 0.20 range. Yeah, that's not happening. How about the 2022 version of Holiday Bash? Wow, look at this shot. 921,000 viewers with a demo of 0.33. Yeah, that's not happening. But this is company and promotion of the year because Sports Illustrated said it. Let's see how ridiculous and incriminating Sports Illustrated is, huh? The takedown on Sports Illustrated 2025 awards. Storyline of the year. Adam Page and his redemption arc towards the AEW World Championship at All In, Texas. Now, I wish I could come up with a better story in all of 2025. I don't. But to be fair, the pickings were slim this year. What ended up being a great Owen Hart Memorial Cup and a great final between Paige and Ospreay and a great story that started out great and they seemingly kind of just went sideways with it, with Paige and Ospreay and Swerve being upset at Paige and Swerve saying to Ospreay that he would never in a million lifetimes help this guy attain his dream and end the Death Riders, to that sit down between Paige and Swerve in the locker room where Paige handed Swerve the chain. The symbolic meaning of the chain, which was then used by Swerve to help Paige win the championship in the Texas Death Match with Jon Moxley. I do think after everything we've seen this year from both companies, I think that small stretch of whatever they told there was probably better than most of what we've seen this year. And WWE, it's incriminating just to look at WWE that they had nothing. They had not one singular story all year that topped AEW in what they did with Adam Page. It says more about WWE and how far they've fallen off than it does about AEW writing a good story. A story, by the way, which was never supposed to be Adam Page's. It was absolutely supposed to be Darby Allin's. Because if you look at Adam Page's reign after he won, they had no plan for it. They had no direction. Tony didn't give a shit about making Adam Page the champion because he had everything mapped out for Darby to win. He didn't go and change anything. He gave you Adam Page because he was the best choice for the occasion because it's the cowboy in Texas. How could you not? Because he opted to allow Darby to go climb Mount Everest. But you can see in the aftermath, after Page won the world championship, that they had no direction whatsoever for Adam Page as world champion, and they let him down. How do you come out of that and then not have a fucking plan? So they got us there with a moment, and a great moment. The moment Page won the world championship was fantastic. But the aftermath, it was awful. They legitimately put zero effort into Page as the world champion. Runner-ups, John Cena's retirement and the downfall of the Death Riders. Bro, if Sports Illustrated is claiming that Adam Page winning the world championship was the best storyline of the year and the runner-ups were John Cena's retirement run and the Death Riders, I don't know how much more I could fucking explain to you that this year was fucking awful. Awful. This is what we were left with in 2025 following a great 2024. Just saying. Rivalry of the year went to Adam Page and Jon Moxley. I can't really sit here and go over anything else this year that would even constitute as a rivalry of the year in WWE. Genuinely, the closest thing to rivalry of the year would probably be CM Punk and Seth Rollins. That would be the only thing. In fact, I'm taking Seth Rollins and CM Punk to be rivalry of the year over Hangman and Jon Moxley. Hangman and Jon Moxley was not a rivalry of the year. It was born out of fucking happenstance because Darby Allin was supposed to be in that spot and Adam Page was not. At least CM Punk and Seth Rollins feud, though it was a little long in the tooth, it gave way to Rollins winning Money in the Bank and gave way to CM Punk having his heart broken by Rollins faking an injury with the Money in the Bank cash-in at SummerSlam. So if I'm choosing rivalry of the year, I'm not choosing Adam Page and Jon Moxley. I'm choosing Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Again, Sports Illustrated didn't do their due diligence here. Toni Storm and Mariah May was a runner-up. That was more of a 2024 rivalry. That ended in the first quarter of 2025, so I'm not constituting that as a runner-up. That's just more, let me glaze AEW. That wasn't a rivalry this year. It was a rivalry for most of last year, which took place and began going into All In last year. And then they put CM Punk and Seth Rollins as a runner-up. No, CM Punk and Seth Rollins, in my honest opinion, is the feud of the year. Heel turn of the year. They actually chose Naomi. Naomi's heel turn was great. It got cut short, though. It got cut out from underneath her. But I do think that Naomi, turning from the babyface that she was, feeling the glow, to proceed with caution, is a great fucking heel turn for her. That was working out very well for her. And it's actually going to work out even better for her when she comes back, because we got that taken away from us very quickly. Now, the heel turn of the year should go to John Cena. I don't know why John Cena did not get heel turn of the year, because that turn, that moment, there's nothing this year that came close in either promotion. I'm not talking about the run. I'm talking about the initial turn. Again, Sports Illustrated is not doing their due diligence, and Sports Illustrated, honestly, from the last two awards here, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking and who they hired to fucking come up with these choices. Mind-numbingly stupid. How you choose Naomi over John Cena, it speaks to me as you are peddling a narrative that you want out there because that's you and what you think. No. Take nothing away from Naomi. Her heel turn was great, but better than John Cena's heel turn? Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. We're talking about the second greatest heel turn in the history of the business. Becky Lynch is also a runner-up. But Becky Lynch's run was better than the actual turn. The actual turn didn't make sense. She made sense of the turn and then went on a great run. In my honest opinion, the best run of her career. Best on the microphone. Toni Storm. Toni Storm's shtick, Toni Storm's act has gotten very boring. She's not really a bad promo, but to give her best promo in 2025, how do you give Toni Storm best promo? She's not even the best promo in the fucking company. I don't really understand what they were thinking there. Honestly, I think Becky Lynch is a better promo than fucking Toni Storm. This was an off year for CM Punk. But how Toni Storm gets the promo of the year? Honestly, nobody really stood out with their promos this year. I don't know what you guys think. Who do you guys think is promo of the year? I can't really pinpoint who is like deserving of like a promo of the year or best promo of the year. Who was a consistent great promo? I'd probably go LA Knight, or you always want to go with a CM Punk, but I think he had an off year. Nobody in WWE really had a great promo year. It's crazy how down they were in all these different metrics. Best in ring. Sports Illustrated went with Will Ospreay. Well, Will Ospreay up until July was having a great year. And I've always said that Will Ospreay, there's nothing like a Will Ospreay match. He's fucking one of the best pro wrestlers on the planet. Whether you like him or not, I don't really give a shit. But to give him Pro Wrestler of the Year and he was out half of the year? Bro, that speaks to me as fucking unruly favoritism. John Alba actually chose this category. The winners and the runner-ups. Pro Wrestler of the Year? Bro, how do you give someone who worked half the fucking year Pro Wrestler of the Year? I don't understand that. The most consistent performer of the entire year goes to Io Sky. She has been the most consistent performer and has single-handedly made that women's division the best on the fucking planet. Io Sky, out of everybody this year, is the most consistent on-air talent in the ring, bell to bell. And if I had to choose someone else as a runner-up, it would be Seth Rollins. Because I do think that him this year, he really took it to another level as far as what he did as well. I don't know how we're handing out best in-ring performance to a guy that worked fucking half the year. Come on now, man. Are you fucking kidding me? God, the favoritism in the community is fucking nauseating, bro. Breakout Wrestler of the Year. This one I actually agree with. They went with Kyle Fletcher. I think this year, with the body of work that Kyle Fletcher has done, the transformation that Kyle Fletcher went out there and changed. He changed his look. He changed his demeanor. He changed his presentation. He changed his in-ring style. I think Kyle Fletcher is absolutely the breakout performer of the year. From an in-ring perspective, he needed to make those other changes because if he was just plain old boring Kyle Fletcher, what would be so stand out about Kyle Fletcher? Now, if you want breakout in-ring performer, Kyle Fletcher absolutely deserves the spot. If you want breakout superstar of the year, I would probably give this to Dominic Mysterio. Braun Breaker's not there yet. Braun Breaker is not there yet. We're looking at 2026 that maybe Braun Breaker wins breakout star of the year because he's inevitably going to be the world champion. Dominic Mysterio, breakout superstar of the year. Breakout wrestler of the year is probably Kyle Fletcher. Comeback performer of the year. There is only two people I'm looking at on this list. One is Ilya Dragunov, and the other is Bandito. Bandito went out, and he had a wrist injury. Then there was complications with the wrist injury, and he was out nearly double as long as he intended to be out. He also returned that final battle last year in a horrible accident where it was Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona versus Chris Jericho, and there was a spot where he got concussed, and he was out even an extra month or so. Bandito, I would probably deem not only the best luchador in all of pro wrestling, but I would say Bandito is probably the comeback performer of the year. From what he was when he first got to AEW to where he is now, he is so much better now and so much more well-known now, and his presentation is great. I think he's just fucking badass. He's got that cool factor to him. I think Bandito's got comeback performer of the year. Dragunov is number 2 because he came back. He was out a long time. And he came back and he was out for like what? A year and a half? Not even. About a year and some change. 14 months. He comes back. He wins the United States Championship on his first night. He's been United States Champion for now 2 months. He's been back for 2.5 months. I can't give him comeback performer of the year. I got to go with Bandito. But Dragunov will be my number 2. Dragunov picked up the pieces and went right at it. As soon as he got back, he was the same Dragunov. He never missed a beat. But Bandito, man, Bandito's something special. I think Bandito, what he's done this year with Brody King, I think that deserves comeback performer of the year. Tag team of the year, they gave to FTR. How the fuck do you look at FTR as tag team of the year? Are you fucking kidding me? Over Brodito? First of all, WWE Tag Team Wrestling is non-existent. We're not even going with Tag Team Wrestling because we have champions that don't defend championships for 100 days at a time, and we got divisions that don't even really come off as divisions. Brodito's the best tag team of the year. It was never supposed to happen. It happened out of randomness, and they fucking owned the division. When they got together as a team, the division followed, and everybody followed their lead. It's almost as if everybody just enhanced themselves to the level of Brodito. And the division was more competitive than it has been in years. Brodito should be tasked with making the division better because it was dead. Now FTR are the tag team champions, and you don't even know that they are the tag team champions. You don't even, I think didn't they wrestle tonight? I thought they wrestled tonight. Did they wrestle tonight? Who knows? Or maybe they're saving that for Collision. Because they're Collision Cowboys. As soon as they became tag team champions, it's almost like the division died. Brodito was out there having banger after banger after banger. And now FTR's on Saturday night watching. Nobody's watching. Now they're defending the championships against fucking C-level teams over there. Literally waiting for Copeland and Christian to get back to television, to lose the titles. That's tag team of the year to you? The only WWE team I put in this as a possible topic is Fraxium. That's it. They're fucking great. Match of the year. I don't want to sit here and tell you I disagree with their match of the year because this would probably be definitely my top three. It's in my top three. This is not my match of the year. I'll tell you that right now. This is not my match of the year. Athena and Mercedes versus the Babes of Wrath, announced for World's End. They beat the Bang Bang Gang. Okay. Bro, do we expect the Babes of Wrath to beat Athena and Mercedes twice? Because they beat them in the tournament. My match of the year is not Sports Illustrated's match of the year. They chose Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 41 Night 2. Triple threat match. Now, if you thought that was the match of the year, I have no qualms about it. That's your opinion. You are entitled to that. I would not even argue with you because it was a fucking great match. It was the second best triple threat match in WWE all year. It was the second best triple threat match in pro wrestling all year. But it wasn't the best triple threat match even at WrestleMania. I would take Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk night one main event over Bianca, Rhea, and Io. That was their match of the year in both promotions. It wasn't my match of the year, though. My match of the year is Leon Slater versus Javon Evans at Bound for Glory for the TNA X Division Championship. That was my match of the year. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, number 2. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, number 3. At WrestleMania Night 2. Runner-ups, Adam Page, Jon Moxley, All In. And then Adam Page was Will Ospreay, Double or Nothing. Sure. Show of the year. I do not agree with this at all. They chose AEW Double or Nothing. This was not show of the year. I could tell you right off the bat, two shows were by far and away better than Double or Nothing. Elimination Chamber was better than Double or Nothing, and WWE Evolution was better than Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing was okay. Everybody was glazing the Stadium Stampede match or the Anarchy in the Arena match, whatever the fuck they had that night. That's all they're going off of. Evolution and Elimination Chamber were far more superior shows. Genuinely. Female Wrestler of the Year, Mercedes Moné. This is unequivocally false. She's not the Women's Pro Wrestler of the Year. Io Sky is Women's Pro Wrestler of the Year. I don't give a shit how many championships you won. I don't give a shit how many fucking promotions you wrestled in. I don't care how much money you're making. There's not one singular story that this woman told all year, and everybody's basing it off the fact that she won nameless, faceless championships without a drop of promotion for any of them. I am not taking that over Io Sky. I'm just not. If there's a number two, Mercedes could be slotted in nicely at number two. Nobody was better than Io this year. Nobody. Male Wrestler of the Year, Adam Hangman Page. Again, false. False. They're basing it off of one moment. They're basing it off of him winning the World Championship at All In, which was a great moment, don't get me wrong, but he's not the male Pro Wrestler of the Year. The male Pro Wrestler of the Year from both promotions is Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was the male Pro Wrestler of the Year. Runner-ups for them were John Cena and Jon Moxley. John Cena was not male Pro Wrestler of the Year. And neither was Jon Moxley. And Promotion of the Year, they went with AEW. This was chosen by Zach Haydorn. This is one man's opinion, which is then enhanced because it's Sports Illustrated. He says, bottom line, All Elite Wrestling produced some of the best pro wrestling programming all year. Oh my God, man. How could I continue to read that with that one line right there, man? Are they fucking kidding me? The redemption arc of Adam Page colliding head-to-head with the Death Riders' desperate attempts to cling to power was a money program for the company's first stadium show in the United States. Tossing a little Will Ospreay, a dash to Swerve Strickland, Mercedes Moné collecting belts around the world, and Okada versus Omega going down on American soil. And how do you not give the company a standing ovation for the sheer volume of high-quality in-ring action alone? Nobody's watching! AEW found its hierarchy in 2025. The company knows who the top stars are and successfully presented them as such throughout the year. The creative team also found ways to elevate. There's a typo in their thing. They say they creative team, their creative team, or the creative team, not they. Also found ways to elevate other talents on the roster to new heights. Who? Like Danny Garcia? Like Speedball? Kevin Knight? Mark Briscoe found his footing and voice as a singles wrestler, and it's thriving. Previously established Kyle Fletcher was a breakout performer this year, and the same can be said about inaugural AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, the Babes of Wrath. Not only did Chris Statlander win her first AEW Women's Championship, but she did so by defeating Timeless Toni Storm at All Out, and then follow that up with the successful title defense against Mercedes at Full Gear. Tony Khan rebuilt a strong foundation for AEW in 2025, and the sky is the limit for what he'll be able to accomplish in 2026 if he stays on this current trajectory. If he stays on this current trajectory, they're going to lose another 20% of their fucking audience. There's no story. Zero. It's legitimately a company that's booked week to week to week. And I mean, when they get to the building on Wednesday is when things take shape. There's no long-term vision. There's no thought process. There's no thinking about where this goes, where it starts, and everything in between. Bro, AEW's produced some of their worst shows in all of 2025. AEW's produced some of their worst pay-per-views in 2025. This guy is referencing things that happened in the last 3 or 4 weeks. The last 2 to 3 months. What a shallow and fucking absolutely void of any comprehension. What the fuck? How do you read that and say, yeah, I agree with that? Bro, there's 52 weeks in a year. This guy took 8 weeks and said, yep, promotion of the year. Every single fucking week, there's something that goes wrong. I pinpointed fucking 12 negatives about tonight's show and how things don't make sense. This is the same company that started the year off with Jeff Jarrett going on a retirement run, wanting an AEW World title match. There is no promotion of the year. There is no promotion of the year. Not in the United States. In fact, if I was to give a promotion of the year to, I'm giving it to TNA. I'm giving it to TNA. They made more of an impact than anybody. No pun intended. AEW is down again. Produced some of the worst shows in the history of their company. WWE Creative is down. The worst year of Triple H's administration, and some of the most boring and lifeless and soulless and most unfun shows that they've produced in over a decade. Whereas Shawn Michaels is more exciting running NXT than his buddy is running the main roster, I'm giving it to TNA. They actually went out there, did the business, got a partnership with NXT and WWE, and landed themselves a new TV deal on AMC. If there is a promotion of the year, it's TNA, not AEW and WWE. We should not be giving these companies, we should not be giving WWE and AEW the fucking rub for good job well done this year. Hold them accountable. They have both produced god-awful, dog shit television. And none of them should be getting any reward at the end of the fucking year. Sports Illustrated and everybody that fucking took part in this fucking fiasco, this farce, is a fucking joke. How anybody takes a publication like that seriously, you gotta have your fucking brain examined. That's your AEW Dynamite Holiday Bash, as I wanted to bash myself over the fucking head watching this show and reading through this Sports Illustrated fucking drivel. AEW Holiday Bash 2025. I can't wait to see the ratings come in. 520,000 is my prediction. With a 0.10 in the 18 to 49 demo. Holiday trash, says Triple M. Yes. Absolutely. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And please go check out all of the great content on the channel. There is plenty of it, including last night's monumental Tuesday Night Titans with the Solid Monster. Go and check that out. Looks like we have a quiet super chat night. It's all right. I earned that Dungeon Exotic drop. Brother, I hope so. Last night I did the, I ran into two randoms, bro, on LFG. They ran me through the exotic mission. I got all the catalysts. Got them all done. Get your super chats in. Any questions, comments, and concerns? We're going to go over them. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Please leave a comment and a thumbs up down below. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. The best of the best. JD Jesse, OTS, let's go. Thank you, Michael. Jesse, hopefully we'll be back next week. It is Christmas Eve, so he might not even be here next week. I will try and be here. I think I will be here. More than likely, I will be here. Devin250, have I tried Black Ops 7 yet? Yes, I haven't played in 2 weeks, but I'm Prestige 3. JM Beer with a 7 months. Put the belt back on MJF immediately. Yes. Caden with a 199. Spoiler, Mercedes Moné loses 2 belts to Mrs. Bruv. What? She loses 2 belts to Mrs. Bruv? What does that mean, chat? What does that mean? Who did she lose the belts to? What belts did she lose? Yeah, bro, I got burnt out a little bit, man. I've been playing nothing but Renegades. I've been chasing these fucking... Bro, I got all the god rolls for the fucking winter solstice event. Man, I got me a great fucking Mistral lift, or whatever it's called, the fusion rifle. I got me a great grenade launcher. Oh, they almost dropped immediately for me. Yes, I know who Miss Bruv is, but what titles? Rev Pro? Oh, man, she lost the British Rev Pro Championship to Alex Windsor. Who gives a shit? Like, really, who gives a shit? Best in the world, Matt, with 15 months. Wonder how much TK paid Sports Illustrated to have AEW named Promotion of the Year. Hashtag Justice for Becky. Joseph Gonzalez with a 499. MJF still relies on WWE references for cheap pops 5 years later. Also, why is he trying to prove he can win fair? That goes against his character. Well, no, because he gave you what the glimpse of his new character going forward will be at the end of All Out. And don't worry, the cheap pops 5 years later, he won't have to rely on those WWE references anymore because he'll soon be there. DW Heard with a $10 super chat. I think Marina Shafir used up all of AEW's F-bombs tonight. And MJF really got put in a shitty spot with the all-in contract, didn't he? Good job, Tony Khan. Richard Cohn with a $1 super chat. Thank you, Richard. Ali with a 2. I didn't watch the show, but I'm happy to see MJF. Likewise. AEW desperately needed MJF back. HD Strong with a $4.99 for the laugh. Thank you, HD Strong. Andre Benson with a 5. That should have been the main event segment with MJF. I was not interested in the rest of the show after that segment. Well, you know, Tony Khan books the show in such a weird way. He legitimately keeps collision instead of stretching it out and putting some of the more important stuff later on in the show so it keeps people watching. He wants people to tune out for some reason. Like, I don't know who's going to stay up and watch Orange Cassidy versus Mascara Dorada. Bro, we don't give a shit. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Hollywood guy with a $5 super chat. I missed this show. I was playing Red Dead Redemption. Bro, you didn't miss anything. If they upload the MJF segment to YouTube, that's the only thing worth watching. Bodie McBoatface with a $5 super chat. When you have one match where a guy kicks out of a brainbuster straight into a match that ends in a roll-up, you completely lose me. Great graps, though, right, JD? Bro, I'm just fucking exhausted. I'm exhausted. I really am. Jerry Delino with a $4.99. In my opinion, if MJF jumped ship to WWE in 2024 after his AEW contract expired, I believe MJF would have been the one to retire John Cena. Do you agree? That's a huge possibility. Huge. David Rice with a $10 super chat. JD is spitting tonight. The Sports Illustrated thing is probably to counter the WWE ESPN collab. Brother, you may be onto something there, and that really gives me an idea for a video tomorrow. There is no doubt in my mind AEW paid Sports Illustrated to be very pro AEW with their end-of-year awards. Yurka with a $10 super chat. Yurka comes in, orders a drink, leaves a tip, and goodbye. Love Yurka. Major Motions with a $1.99. I'll give Cena promo of the year, hands down. Bro, I don't think Cena's promo of the year. Maybe. Probably just by default because it was his last year and he did get a decent amount of microphone time this year. But it certainly wasn't Tony Storm. Major Motions with a $1.99. NXT is the best promotion weekly show of the year. I'm sure a lot of people think that too. Sidro with a $5 super chat. Car broke down between the marina and the Hallmark store. Now I'm stuck between a dock and a card place. P.S. Hungry for life is what dead AEW needs. Yeah. Poppy Sensei with 25 months. You used to laugh hysterically at Impact. Now giving TNA promotion of the year. Oh, how times have changed. Well, AEW is not promotion of the year. Darkwing Dub with a $9.99. I would say NXT is promotion of the year. Again, a lot of people probably think that same way. OJ Max with a $7.99. Spoiler alert. Apparently Bianca returned. Thank God SmackDown needs her. Thea beat Blake for the title, but Blake was supposed to kick out. Bianca returned on SmackDown? They must have not put that in the spoilers. And yes, I saw the Blake Monroe thing. It looks like Blake Monroe got the wind knocked out of her. And the referee seemingly didn't see her get her shoulder up, and it was fucked up all around. Dave Scheffler with the 2. MJF came back blazing and needs to be champion. I agree. They need to crown him at World's End. Dizzle with a pistol, $5 super chat. I would rather watch the Pittsburgh Pirates play baseball than watch AEW. Hashtag Steeler Nation. Hashtag OTS for life. And D4353 with a $1.99. MJF will be feuding with The Miz in WWE. No, he will not. Guys, thank you very much for your support. I know it is slow on Wednesday night in a lot of the IWC parts because AEW's somehow promotion of the year. Meanwhile, their interest is fucking dirt low. But somehow they're the promotion of the year. Bought and paid for by Tony Khan. Thank you guys for all of your support. Go and check out the rest of the content on the channel. Leave me a comment down below. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And please, go and check out all the great content on the channel, including last night's episode 125 of Tuesday Night Titans. And live on Monday night for Monday Night Raw. Next time you see me, maybe tomorrow in your sub boxes. And the next time you see me live, unfortunately, will be for Friday Night SmackDown. A very, very, very taped show on Friday night. But thank you guys for all of your support. If you guys did enjoy tonight's video, again, please hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of tonight's holiday trash from AEW on Dynamite. Again, thank you guys very much. And I will see you all on Friday. Please follow me on social media for all the latest updates at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Friday Night SmackDown right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.